Hey, what's up? This is Anthony ShowTime Pettis, the best in the 145 and 55-pound division, and I'm speaking the MMA truth.
Angel Cordero for the MMAtruth.com in beautiful Puerto Rico, and a very special occasion for us as we welcome the last WEC lightweight champion, the owner of the most famous kick in MMA history, Anthony ShowTime Pettis. Anthony, welcome to the MMA Truth and welcome to Puerto Rico.
Thank you, man. It was an excellent time coming here. The food was amazing, and we just got here and I'm already full.
I know it's been only a couple minutes since you got here, but you've been here before. How do you like Puerto Rico so far?
I love Puerto Rico. I love the people, I love the culture, the food. My daughter's grandma's here, so I have a lot of stuff to come here for.
It was the first time actually that you got a reception at the airport. How did you like that?
It was cool. I mean, to put it on Twitter yesterday and then to get some people come out. I mean, it's awesome to have fans here and to see the support they have for MMA.
Anthony, it was only minutes after UFC 156 ended and the post-fight press conference started that Dana White said, I just got a call from Anthony Pettis saying, I want Aldo next, and it's happening. Tell us, how did that really happen?
I was watching the fight. I seen Aldo versus Edgar. I mean, Aldo's a big 45er, so I just figured he can make that jump to 55. And if he makes the jump to 55, he's going to skip me for a title shot again. I've been skipped 3 or 4 times. I've been waiting for a title shot for 2 years. So I said, you know what, let's face him head up. I'll fight him in his weight class and see how it goes. I mean, I don't want to get skipped anymore. I got to drop the 10 pounds. I'm comfortable doing it. Also, my teammate Eric Koch was down at 45, so I didn't want to stop his run at the title. So I always thought about 45. Now's the time to do it. I mean, I'm right there, number 1 contender. Get in there, fight the best in the world at 45, and I'm ready to mix it up.
So was it more about not getting skipped again and than actually something personal against him?
No, nothing personal at all against the guy. I mean, he's one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. So I mean, that's what makes me want to fight him. I want to be one of the best fighters in the world. This guy has that name. He has the record to go with it, the belt. I mean, there's so many things that draw me to him. I mean, me as a competitive fighter, I want to fight guys like that. So, nothing against him personally. He's an awesome fighter. I have all the respect in the world for him, but I just want his belt.
How did the call happen? Did you call Dana directly? Did you text him, and what was the reaction?
I texted him. It was a simple text. I just said, Jose Aldo looked good, but I can beat him. And that was it. And then, I didn't get a response back, and all of a sudden I seen the press conference, and he's talking about it, blew it up everywhere. I think my stock rose from just that one text message. I mean, I got the Aldo fight. I got so much publicity, so much stuff coming from that one text message. Best text I ever sent.
You're one of the few fighters in the UFC that has Puerto Rican blood in him, although you are also Mexican. How important would be for you to make that fight or defend a belt if you ever win a UFC belt in one of these countries?
Well, we don't have a set place to fight yet, man. But it would be amazing to fight here. I mean, I love the culture. I love the fans. Everything that Puerto Rico has, I love it, man. Even the food. I mean, that would be the best weigh-in meal I ever had in my life. So it would be amazing to fight here. I hope the UFC brings it back, and when they do, I want to be main event or be on that card for sure.
Well, we can start by wearing the UFC Puerto Rico T-shirt. Which guys can get it at UFCstore.com. Anthony, how did you see that fight between Aldo and Edgar?
I had Aldo winning. I mean, when you're the champion, you have to. Well, if you're fighting the champion, you have to beat him. I mean, you can't just squeeze by a decision and think you won the champion. So 1, 2, and 3, I gave it to Aldo. Edgar 1, 4, and 5. But I think Aldo did enough to keep his belt.
Aldo was saying that you don't deserve this shot and that you probably shouldn't get it. And Dana White was really clear that he's not going to like what's going to happen if he doesn't take this fight. What do you think when you hear stuff like that?
It was weird for me at first. I mean, because right after the press conference, he said, I accept anybody the UFC puts in front of me. The UFC put me in front of him, and then all of a sudden the story changes. I don't know what it was exactly, whether it was money. I don't know if it was, what it comes after that. But I was the number one contender in a more competitive weight class. I mean, there's bigger names in 155, way harder competition in 155. I don't care what 45 you put up against the 55 competition, way harder at 55. So, I mean, it makes sense that I'm the number 1 contender if I drop down there. And I think the same, like Dana said, if Jose comes up, should he have a fight at 55 before he gets the belt? No, I mean, he's proven himself at 45. So, I don't know. I don't know what it was all about, but I mean, I'm not going to take it as he was scared. I'm not going to take it as anything. I'm going to take it as he's a champion, and that's his belt, and I got to come get it.
I know you said it's nothing personal, but I'm sure that you've matched it up in your mind and how you match up with him, and you're both pretty lethal kickers. How do you see that fight going, and where do you think you're going to have an advantage?
I think my size is going to be something that's hard to deal with. I mean, you see Frank Edgar drop down. He's a small 55er. I'm a pretty big 55er. I mean, I'm coming down to 45. It's going to be a tough cut, but it's something I'm willing to do for a belt. So I think I'm going to go down there. my size is going to be one thing, and the arsenal I bring in there. I mean, you can't find guys that do what I do. Otherwise, they'd be in the UFC where I'm at. So it's hard to find people to train like me or spar like the way I spar. And the camp that I come from, man, my kickboxing coach, Dude Roof, is the man when it comes to striking. So I think this is one of them fights that he's going to have a great game plan. I'm going to listen to it. Got to watch out for the takedowns. I know he's works with Gray Maynard. I know he's going to be, he has explosive takedowns, but I think you put two explosive fighters like us in the cage, man, it's going to be fireworks. I mean, you never know what's going to happen, and I'm excited to be part of it.
I heard you say at the airport when we're, talking to the fans and other people that were there, that you weren't planning to stay at 145 even if you won the belt.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that draws me to 145 is Jose Aldo. I made my name at 155. I beat the champ at 155 now. I had one tough fight with Clay Guida. I mean, so the only thing that draws me to 45 is Jose Aldo, his belt, that challenge with him. But my home's at 55, man. Like, I'm a 55er, I'm a lightweight, and I'm definitely coming back for that.
It's a big possibility that you win that belt. What if the UFC has you defend that belt at 145? I
mean, I'll do what happens. I mean, for me, it's getting that recognition over Aldo, getting that belt, and then whatever they want me to do. I mean, if they want me to fight it again, I mean, Ricardo Lamas is a good contender. I mean, you got Korean Zombie. There's a lot of guys I could fight, but I want Ben Henderson too, man. So like, I'm not trying to call it all the champs, but Jose Aldo first, and then we'll see what happens after that.
It's really interesting, to think about you fighting Ben Henderson again, because you beat him in the last time around, and you were the last WEC champion. You came into the UFC being the WEC 155 champion, but it's you who lost the first fight, and he went on to win and to become the champion. And a lot of people think that it was a mistake on your part to take that first fight against Clay Guida instead of waiting for your shot. What do you think now, in hindsight, what do you think about it?
Everything happens for a reason. Henderson's where he's at for a reason. I think me and Henderson are the best lightweights in the world. I mean, we've proven it. I mean, we fought in the WC. We had a war. I mean, that was a war. That wasn't an easy fight. Went 5 rounds. I hit him with the crazy kick. He still survived that. I mean, the dude's a champ. I mean, he's a champion. But I don't regret Guida fight at all. I mean, that's something I had to know that was there. I mean, you have bad days at work. You have bad days. I would never blame it on a bad day. It was just a wrong game plan against the wrong guy. I mean, I thought I was going to finish him. I thought I was going to submit him. It didn't happen. 15 minutes went by like that. It was so quick, and you got to realize that. I mean, I was a young fighter at the time, and I think I matured so much more to where I'm at today.
What do you think is the biggest difference between Anthony Pettis that fought Clay Guida and the Anthony Pettis now?
The Anthony Pettis now is way more mature. I mean, not only inside the octagon, outside of the cage. I mean, I had a daughter, matured me so much. I mean, I pick who I hang around with differently. I pick what I eat differently. I mean, what I'm doing. So a lot more mature in the sense of understanding the fight game. I mean, I was a young dude. I was knocking dudes out quick. My career went from the WC to the UFC like that. So had a lot riding on that first fight, and I think I let that play into me. I let that play into me too much, and now I'm looking past that. I understand what I have to do to win fights, and that's it.
Of course, WC was a much smaller promotion than the UFC, but how different is your lifestyle? When you compare being a WEC fighter and a UFC fighter now with all the attention and all the media that you have to do?
You know what? I did an MTV show, World of Jinx, and it really put my stock up, man. So I think I had a lot of attention coming from the WEC. You had people recognizing me all over the place. But now that you're in the UFC, I have my fight on Fox. The attention has gone way up. I mean, a lot more fans, a lot more recognition. But you know what? The WEC did a really good job of promoting their fighters. They made us superstars at a lower organization. But the thing was, we were the best in the world. I mean, we didn't know it. No one else knew it. But I mean, now you can tell. The WC guys are right at the top of the UFC. If Cowboy would have fought me and I was up there still, he was still right at the top too. So I think the WC had a lot of talent. They did a great job promoting their fighters. But I mean, nothing's like the UFC.
And we have to thank people like Reed Harris for an amazing show that was WEC.
Yeah, Reed Harris is the man. I mean, Reed Harris, Sean Shelby, everybody behind the scenes. The crazy thing is, it's the same staff as UFC. So you really didn't tell the difference. When I went to the UFC, the only difference was the color of my gloves. I have black gloves opposed to blue, but everybody's the same. I mean, everybody treated you like superstars, man. It was an awesome time.
Now, driving away a little bit from the fight theme, you made a really funny comment at the airport earlier. And, of course, for those of you that don't know, Anthony has Puerto Rican and Mexican blood in him. And you said something about you growing up and half of your family being fans of Tito Trinidad and the other half being fans of Oscar De La Hoya. Talk a little bit about that. And did you guys, as a family, watch that fight? And how was the chemistry between you guys?
My dad was a really big fight fan, boxing, everything. So he put us in Taekwondo. and very competitive family. I mean, growing up, I had two brothers, so we were always competitive. My dad's side is Puerto Rican, my mom's side is Mexican. So when that fight happened with Trinidad and De La Hoya, we all came to one. We always go to one house to watch the fight. So half of my family wanted Trinidad to win, half of them wanted De La Hoya to win, and it was a close fight too. I mean, the Mexican side thought it was a wrap. De La Hoya won, it was a wrap. But all of a sudden the decisions came out. The streets went crazy, man. It was I always remember that, and I remember telling myself, like, you know what, I want to be at that stage somehow. I never knew it was going to be with MMA, but I wanted to be at that stage, and them guys motivate me to be where I'm at.
Well, if you ever want the Puerto Rican fans to go crazy like they did when Tito beat Oscar for one of your fights, you just have to give them some love. Sometimes, if you ever win and you win your next fight, and at the post-fight interview with Joe Rogan, you give props to the fans in Puerto Rico, I'm sure they're going to love you forever.
For my next fight, guaranteed, if it's in Brazil, I'm coming out with the two flags, Mexican, Puerto Rican flag for sure.
Great. That was actually, that's actually, one of the fans at the MMA Truth on Facebook was asking me to ask you, why aren't you coming out with a Mexican and Puerto Rican flag like Tito Ortiz used to do and Cain Velasquez does? Can we expect that from Anthony Pettis?
Definitely, if the fight's in Brazil, I mean, no matter where it's at, I'm coming out with the flags. I want to represent my culture, and I want the fans that come behind me and support me and know that I'm here doing big things in MMA.
Well, Anthony, again, I welcome you to Puerto Rico. I hope you have a great time. I'm going to make sure that as long as we're hanging out together, you have a good time. Of course, the food has been amazing here at La Casita Blanca, one of my favorite restaurants here in San Juan. And we're going to keep hanging around this weekend with Anthony and doing a lot of cool stuff. Anthony, once again, welcome to the MMA Truth. Anything you want to say to the fans in Puerto Rico and all our fans all over the world?
Let's get the UFC back here. I think it's a long time coming. Let's make sure the UFC comes back. Let's get everybody to support that cause, and let's make it happen. I want to fight on that card.
For the MMAtruth.com, Angel Cordero and Anthony ShowTime Pettis. Can't wait.